Hey everyone, Phil Jones here from Winging It. So I've been asked by a few people to do a video about kind of divorce proceedings, some helpful hints about what I've learned since going kind of through mine. I've did those 3 posts, which have helped a lot of people out, I think, because there's so much information on the internet, and a lot of it's written by solicitors, and although they try and dumb it down for people who obviously aren't in the profession, it is quite hard to kind of work out how you fit in, especially if you are what they call self-representing, which is called LIP, legitimate in person. If you haven't got the finances to pay a solicitor or a barrister 250 quid an hour, plus nowadays, since COVID has probably gone up to about 300 odd to represent you, which a lot of us don't, especially if you're kind of like, in a lot of situations, the father has left the marital home to your ex-partner, especially if you have children. That's not meaning that it's your fault. You left the home because you did something wrong. It's just, I think if you're a half decent bloke, you kind of like know that the child needs support, obviously, and the last thing you want is for them not to be in a home. So I understand in a world where the system seems to lean more towards the women, and it's probably for good reason in the past, but I think in this day and age, with the modern man, I think things need to be slightly adjusted. We're not all wolves. A lot of us just want the best for our children, and if I'm honest, it takes a lot to swallow your pride and make the right choice, which will help your ex out financially maybe, but proxy wise it will obviously help your nipper, which is the most important thing. So I'm going to just go through a few things, like paperwork and bits and bobs that I've learned. So a lot of my information I got from a website called Wilkervorce, which is a website which deals with paralegals. So paralegals are trainee solicitors, so they know all the legal terms and they've been through all the training, they just haven't done the bar yet, or whatever the equivalent is in the UK. So they can't represent you in court, and they can't sign any bits of paper off for you, but they can give you all the same advice, and they're also a lot cheaper. So for example, at a solicitor, at least my last solicitor, I was looking at, especially she put her prices up as well, so it was nearly 370 quid per hour, okay, and I found that I was actually giving her all the information, or giving them all the information, but I wasn't really getting that much back, because obviously there's probably people that are paying her a lot more money, so I'm probably quite low down in the priority, and therefore, and also I didn't realise that every email I sent would cost me about 25 quid. So even though I was like, a lot of the emails I was just kind of like saying, is this the case? And then they would say, yes, it is this case, and then it cost me 25 quid. I'm like, right, okay, so I just told you something and you just went, yeah. So these paralegals are really good. Wilkervorce do lot packages. So for example, you can pay 250 quid and you get 3 hours of advice. And if you use that quite economically and you're quite proactive, you can generally ask them questions and they will send you packages of like, right, here's like the Form E for financial, fill this out, this needs to be sent at this time, here's a template that I've made up, which is like an easy one, and you just kind of fill it out yourself. And then you send it back to them, can you check this, they send it back to you, this needs to be changed, blah, 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 and a bit like that, right? And you get a lot out of it, especially if you're willing to look into things yourself. There's like gov websites are good for templates. I highly recommend trying to get hold of a Word document. Form E, which is the final resolution document, is pretty much the document that you have to put all of your financial outgoings, ingoings, assets, house valuation, cars, all that stuff, and both of you do it, and then you bring that together at a set time, and you normally have to send to the court as well. But anyway, moving on, starting from the beginning, right? Okay. I'll try and describe this in the best possible way I can, so please stick with me. But I've got myself a big old folder, right? Because I like to and also it's obviously really good if you're going to go to court that you've got like a folder for yourself. A folder normally goes to like your ex or solicitor, and one goes to the court, so you can pretty much reference, and nothing's a surprise. You know, it is meant to be open. You can't just like throw something in there like you know, like you see on TV. You know, you can't just say, oh, and by the way, I've been hiding this. Here we go. That's not allowed. So it's actually quite open, and that gives me a little bit more kind of feeling that I might get a fair kind of system or output, you know, because you know, everyone you speak to, and everyone's got a different story. Everyone you speak to has got a different story about how their court cases go, how much they spent, and all this kind of stuff. And most of the people I come across have just piled money into solicitors, and it's not always the case that they get the outcome that they want. So I like the idea of being in charge of myself. I know what happened. I know what my financial situation is. I'm going to know what my ex's financial situation is, and from there we can come to a fair resolution, because that's all I want, a fair resolution, right? Fair resolution for me and my nipper. So we have a good future together. And a lot of people also, they just go, right, you know, yeah, you can have the house, just kind of leave me alone. Because of the pressures of the system on men, you feel very alone. You feel very like the system hasn't got your back, like you haven't got a voice. For example, when you separate, depending on, you know, whatever, if the woman wants to make a load of fuss and make a lot of accusations, right, people will listen to her, okay, because it's just the way it is. People automatically think the man has done something wrong, okay. It can't just be a normal balanced breakup, okay. Normally one side has got more emotional than the other, okay, or something like that. You know, like I'm a big believer that every breakup is not really one side. It's not one-sided, okay. You know, everyone had an input, okay. No one is not to blame, okay. It's normally communication breakdown. But I could digress, because I just want to know, I want to say that everyone's supported. But anyway, so currently I'm doing the financial resolution, okay, which means that I am trying to get some kind of direction for my future into what's happening with my house, or our house, it's 50-50, how much I'm going to get out of it, so I can plan my finances for the future. And that comes down to, for example, when I want to leave the forces, because currently I'm in service accommodation, but I only have this while I'm in the forces, and I've got 5 years left. So at the moment, with my debts from starting Dagger Detailing, I have a lot of debt, and I need to try and get rid of that, okay? And the only way I can do that is by trying to extract some money from my part of the asset, which is the house, which has obviously got a fair amount of equity in it. At the same time, my child needs somewhere to live with her mother, but at the same time, my child needs someone to live with me. And that's not just now, but that's also in the future. There's no point me having a house now and being on the streets in the future, okay? Balance is important. See any child mental health study, and obviously I'm apart from abusive parents and abusive mothers, fathers and stuff for this. Generally, equal input from mother and father builds a healthy child, and then therefore a healthy adult, which is what the whole general gist of it is. So to get to court, I needed to put an application in. Okay, I paid, I believe it's about £275 to put an application in. It's called a Form A, and you just put in, I'm pretty sure I've got it here, but you pretty much put in what you're looking for, so financial resolution, who's doing it, and stuff like when you were married, when you separated, how many children you've got, what's the house value at this current time, etc, etc. It's pretty self-explanatory, but like I said, if you fill it out with what you know and you send it to the people, the paralegals, they can look at it and go, yeah, see, there's nothing like jumping out of this, all there is, and you just need to tick this box, blah blah blah, which is what I did. So that's the Form A. You bang that in. You can download it from the Gov website. You literally just put in Form A court application, it comes up, right? So that's the first one. You throw that in, they get in touch with you, and then you pay 275 quid. It goes through, you get a door date through, and then you get pretty much like a court application on this. Come through, right, in a pack, and it's a it's called a financial first order, so your first appointment order, right, FPA, and you'll get a date for the court. They then ask you to, it's normally like 3 months away, so 3 months time, and then you are asked, right, you need to sort out your Form E. And your Form E is also downloadable from the Gov website, and it's got everything in it. Like, you literally, who you are, who the other half is, and then you literally just go through name, insurance number, everything like that. All your assets, all your outgoings, if you've got businesses, what's your tax returns for the year, everything, all your ingoings and outgoings, any money you're going to get, how your financial situation is going to change over the 12 months, i.e. like, are you going to start renting? Like for me, I was living on base for a bit and now I'm renting. So my outgoings have gone up. And at the same time, I've got mortgages to pay for. I currently can't pay the mortgage because, and then I've got CSA, and, like, even though I earn a good amount of money through the Navy, it only stretches so far, especially when you've got like debt and APR and all that shenanigans going through the roof nowadays with everything. So you write down everything, be as open as possible, or just be open, because if you're going to go to court, it's going to come out and it's going to look really bad on you, especially as a bloke. All right, don't try and deceive. Just be open. Whatever comes to light will come to light. And then you have to get that in to the court at least 14 days before the court date, and then it has to be given to your partner, so your partner will also do one, and then you will swap, and then you can kind of look at each other's and go, okay, and then be like, right, well, actually this is missing, and then you've then got a chance to do like a questionnaire, so you can send that to them, be like, look, I want to know like this, etc, etc. That goes to the court, and then the whole idea of the first appointment is that the court, if it sees anything that is out of place, can then put orders in for you to go away and sort it out. Okay, so it's fair. So all the information. The second court placement, which you'll get obviously after the first, although there is an option to bring the two together, is financial resolution. So you pretty much, it's like mediation but with the court. Okay, each side puts the thing forward. I would like this, I would like that. And that's when you need all your information together, evidence, pretty much try and get everything together that you can think of that might be asked, and then have it in a folder ready to go. So if something comes up and they go, well, actually this, you need to be make sure that you've got, actually this is what happened, or this is, I have evidence of this. You have to kind of try and think of everything that would come up. Okay. So that's your secondary one, and in my case, actually, I'm self-representing, and my other half has a solicitor, but that's the way it is. And there's lots of books that you can get. I bought a book that gives them quite a bit of information. For example, there's something called Mackenzie Friend, so you can ask to bring a friend along to help you. They can't be a family member or like in a relationship with you, but you can ask a friend to help you, just to kind of like pass you bits of paper and stuff like that. They can't have an input, but they can help you. So, which is always good, because you know it's going to be a weird situation for you to be in, you know. But you just got to kind of believe in yourself and just be truthful. So while that's all going on, hopefully you will get to the final resolution place, and hopefully you will sort out a financial proposal that everyone can agree on. Okay. And you got like pensions and stuff. It's a fair amount of money to put out, unfortunately, but it's still cheaper than doing it all through the solicitor. So, for example, in the armed forces, if you want to get a pension feed out, you seem to be the only organisation you have to pay 180 quid to get a printout of your pension, and it's not the one that you get yearly. You have to actually go out to the pension society and do it. Everyone else seems to get it for free, because ours is so fucking split everywhere. And also standard, they can then see your whole pension, whereas a lot of people you can't. Because their pension isn't like kind of set, whereas ours theoretically is, unless you get like an upgraded rank or something. So that's obviously something that may play in my favour or may not. Yeah, cars and stuff, and any assets you got. If you've got a business like I have, you need to get like tax returns, which you have to pay for, which is another load of money. Mortgage abilities, loaning abilities, again, another load of money. I've been quoted about 300 quid to get a mortgage advisor to look at all my finances and my lending ability, even though I can't buy shit at the moment, but apparently I still need it. So yeah, you know, you're looking at about $1,000 before you even get there, by the time you've bought maybe 2 lots of 3 hours, and then all these kind of like external agencies to give you the information. But in the end, it'd be worth it, you know. Solicitor wise, I've heard people, you know, putting 25 grand into it, and even then they don't get what they want. So you're definitely better off doing it yourself. It is quite stressful, but hopefully you'll have someone who's supportive, who will support you and help you through it. And just remember that you can only just do your best. You just do your best, okay? You know, and like I said in my post, I've got a picture that my nipper made, and I put it in the front of my folder because it just reminds me of why I'm doing it. It keeps me functioning. But yeah, I got loads of stuff in here, like first appointment order, P60s, salaries. You have to, for every account you've got, credit card, current account, anything like that, you've got to have like 12 months print out of it. Luckily everything's done online nowadays, especially with the Navy, all my pay slips online. Mortgages, like fees for early mortgage payouts, all this stuff. So you've got to calculate pretty much your mortgage or your value of your house now, deduct how much mortgage you got left of it. There might be a fee for early payment up to a certain date, and then it's like 2% of the amount of the house sold to go to the estate agent, all that. You deduct it all and then pretty much divide it by 2, and boom, that's what we're going for. And then normally there's some kind of like, if you don't want someone to go after your pension, you normally you know, say for example, well, okay, well then I'm going to give you a little bit more of equity of the house. So for example, it's not going to be 50-50, it's going to be, I don't know, 60-50 or something like that. 60-50, 60-40, you know, and don't touch my pension, you know, so you can have that money. Because otherwise it's like, you want to touch my pension, but you can have some money when you're 65, or you can have the money now, you know, because as soon as you've got the house, you can sell it. It's all just, it's all a load of bollocks, if I'm honest, but I never thought I'd be here, but here you are. Mediation. The court requires you to do mediation before, and if you've done mediation and then you just haven't got to a resolution, which is obviously why you're at court, you need your mediator to sign a certificate, and that certificate normally lasts for 4 months, and then you give that to court and say, look, I have done mediation, and blah 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 blah. What else we got? Yeah, there's loads of stuff on the internet. You know, some really useful Instagram pages and stuff like that, and bits and bobs of that. But yeah, if you like I said, Wilberforce is really good. I got a big set of PDFs saying like this is how you fill it out. This is how, you know, like points to do, and it was really really helpful. And I just printed them all out, and I'm gradually like teaching myself how to kind of, you know, do this paper. I'm sure what fucks something up. I mean, I'm a flipping aircraft engineer. I'm not a flipping barrister, but you know, I prefer to kind of like, I prefer to have a go myself. You know what they say, if you can fix a skateboard, you can fix a helicopter. If you can fix a helicopter, you can wing your way through freaking court. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful. If anyone's got any questions, or they want like some PDFs, or they want some information, you know, if they can't even afford the Wilberforce thing, although I highly recommend them, send me a message and I'll send you the stuff I've got. You know, and I'll send you the PDF for the Form E, because, or I thought send you the Word document for the Form E, because the Form E you do about 1,000 times. And beforehand, I literally went through a 30-page PDF about 10 flipping times, because after 10 days, the license goes and you have to do it all again. And I've flipping got blisters on my fingers. So obviously the Word document, some speakers can just go in and change it. But yeah, you know, like this page is all about helping people. So it's not a for-profit. I just feel very strongly about it being fair, and I'm not going to bang on about woe me men, but it is this, the system just needs updating. You know, try not to think about what people are saying, because let's be honest, most of them don't know about the situation. Just think about, especially if you've got kids, your future. Don't sell yourself short. You know, you deserve a future as well. Okay, and just try and take the upper road in things, and try and keep your emotions in check. All right. Remember, anything you do will be seen as or can be seen as an angry, you know, like an act of kind of aggression, right? Because apparently we're really angry people, you know, men, wolves. So just try and stay calm and use your friends and get a good supportive gathering around you. All right. Ditch the people who don't support you and keep the people who do support you. Better to have 3 good friends than flipping 50 crap ones. So I say. Anyway, people, any questions, give me a shout. As I go through, I'll try and do some more videos. This one might be a bit long from an Instagram, but I'll try and split it up. And I'll bang it on my YouTube Dagger Detailing page, because obviously you can upload videos. But hopefully it helps. Any issues, just give me a shout. Peace, people. Laters.